They want to hide their secrets, and I just love digging away to find out what they don't want us to know.
The bomb didn't just drop, it detonated, ripping through Hollywood's power circle with the kind of force nobody was ready for. A single letter, one sealed envelope, and a name so powerful it makes executives flinch. Oprah. And at the center of this explosion, Meghan Markle, staring down an ultimatum that could burn her empire to ash. This isn't a fairy tale gone wrong, this is a reckoning. January 2026. The media world freezes when Tom Bower, the man famous for turning royal secrets into public disasters, releases his newest investigative nightmare. And buried inside his pages is something nobody ever thought would see daylight. Proof that the glossy Hollywood sisterhood between Meghan Markle and Oprah Winfrey didn't just crack, it collapsed violently. According to Bower's insiders, this all starts late one night at the Arkewell office in Los Angeles. The kind of quiet night where secrets think they're safe. A cleaning staffer doing a routine sweep opens a heavy oak desk drawer in Meghan's private meeting room. No stamp, no return address, just a name written in sharp, commanding handwriting that doesn't beg for attention, it demands it. Oprah Winfrey. Inside, not encouragement, not support, not sisterhood. A breakup letter. A brutal, furious ultimatum. The words are described as ice cold and venomous, scribbled by a woman who felt used. No soft language, no television smile, just rage sharpened into sentences. The demand is clear: repay every dollar of support invested immediately or face exposure so devastating it would erase Meghan from Hollywood's inner circle permanently. Reputation. Access. Influence. Gone. This letter wasn't meant to survive. Meghan allegedly ordered it destroyed, burned, forgotten. But instead, it sat, hidden, waiting, like a loaded weapon in a desk drawer. And now, it's out. And the timing? Poisonous. Because behind the scenes, Arkewell is already wobbling, deals slowing, budgets tightening, and suddenly, the woman who once opened every door is threatening to slam them all shut and lock them. Inside the office, panic erupts. Meghan reportedly storms into an emergency meeting, her face tight, her hands clenched around the leaked information. Voices shake, advisors stumble over explanations. The real problem isn't just the letter, it's that Tom Bower doesn't have only the letter. He has context, he has sources, he has receipts, and Meghan knows it. Her response? Denial. Total denial. Spin it. Kill it. Frame it as fiction. Call it an attack on powerful women. Discredit the messenger before the message consumes everything. Because if Oprah's words are believed, if the public accepts that this wasn't charity but investment, then the entire narrative collapses. And suddenly, people start asking the questions Meghan never wanted asked. Was her rise really organic, or was it powered by a silent benefactor? Were those multi-million-dollar deals, Netflix, Spotify, built on talent alone or on Oprah's invisible endorsement? The internet lights up like a crime board. Flashbacks surface. The 2021 interview, the moment that rewrote Meghan and Harry's American destiny. Viewers once saw compassion. Now they're rewatching it like detectives hunting for leverage. Because in Hollywood, nothing that valuable comes without expectations. Then the whispers get darker. A person claiming to be close to Oprah's inner circle starts talking. Private guidance, quiet financial help, introductions made without contracts based purely on trust. Oprah believed Meghan would do the right thing once she was stable. But repayment, it seems, meant very different things to very different people. And then comes the driver. A man claiming to have once chauffeured Oprah drops stories that turned skepticism into suspicion. He describes Meghan appearing only when she needed something, skipping meetings, acting entitled, demanding introductions, expecting fees to be covered, promising to settle up later. Later never came. Consulting costs, investor introductions, hundreds of thousands of dollars quietly fronted and then ignored. When the bills were raised, the alleged response was chillingly simple. Arkewell was struggling. Personal debts weren't a priority. That's when the tone changed. Because this was no longer about money, this was about betrayal. And just when the scandal seems maxed out, a far uglier rumor begins to circulate, one Oprah allegedly took personally. Whispers involving her partner, boundaries crossed, messages sent that never should have been written, invitations that felt inappropriate, familiarity that felt strategic. True or not, the effect was nuclear. By December 2025, Oprah is done waiting, done excusing, done protecting. She writes the letter not as a mentor, not as a friend, but as a woman reclaiming control, repay what's owed, or face exposure that will make survival impossible. And now, Meghan's public denial only makes it worse because Oprah doesn't bluff. As Meghan's team releases statements calling the letter fake, the public notices something else: Harry's silence. No defense, no unity message, no reassuring appearance, just absence. Behind closed doors in Montecito, insiders describe tension thick enough to choke on. Harry, blindsided, allegedly demands answers he never received before. Why didn't he know about the letter? The debts? The anger? The messages? For Harry, Oprah wasn't just an ally. She was the bridge that saved them when everything else burned. And if what's being said is even half true, then the cost isn't just public embarrassment, it's the collapse of trust inside his marriage. And here's the part that terrifies Meghan's camp the most: Oprah's side is no longer whispering. They're preparing statements, evidence, old messages, timelines, receipts. This isn't gossip anymore, it's positioning. Because if this goes legal, the story won't be controlled by press releases. It'll be controlled by documents. And once those doors open, there's no closing them again. So now the question isn't whether the letter exists, it's what happens next. Does Meghan fight, risking everything? Does Harry step in and choose sides? Or does this end with a quiet settlement and a very loud disappearance? Because one thing is certain: when Oprah Winfrey decides she's done being patient, nobody walks away untouched. The silence that follows doesn't feel calm, it feels calculated. Montecito goes dark online, phones stop pinging, statements dry up, and suddenly the woman famous for never letting the narrative outrun her is nowhere to be found. Meghan Markle disappears at the exact moment the pressure peaks, and in Hollywood, silence like that isn't peace, it's panic management. Inside that mansion, according to people who swear they heard the walls shake, the air turns poisonous. Prince Harry, the man who burned bridges, titles, and bloodlines for love, is no longer nodding along. He's interrogating. He wants timelines, numbers, truths, and the answers aren't lining up. This is where the story mutates from scandal into implosion. Harry allegedly learns for the first time just how deep Oprah's support ran. Not applause and encouragement, but strategic money, access, and reputational shielding. And worse, he learns that the debt letter wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a final warning after months, maybe years, of being ignored. Harry isn't just angry, he's humiliated. Because if Oprah Winfrey feels betrayed, that means they betrayed her. And Oprah doesn't forgive quietly, she documents. Insiders say Harry's voice cracked during one confrontation, the kind of sound that comes when belief finally snaps. He didn't leave royalty to become a defendant in someone else's financial war. He didn't sacrifice his family name to be associated with manipulation accusations. And he definitely didn't expect to learn about private messages, unpaid obligations, and secret letters from a book, not his wife. Meghan's defense? Familiar, deny, minimize, reframe. Everyone's out to get her. Powerful women are always attacked. The press is racist. The critics are obsessed. But Harry's no longer buying slogans. Because the problem isn't public opinion, it's Oprah's patience running out. And then her side moves. Not leaks, not whispers. A formal statement. Controlled, surgical, deadly. Oprah's representatives confirm what Meghan denied: prolonged silence, delayed repayments, and behavior that crossed ethical lines. They don't scream, they don't insult, they threaten consequences. And buried in that statement is the line that makes legal analysts sit up straight: we are in possession of documented communications, messages, screenshots, timestamps. That's when the tone online shifts from gossip to verdict. Because when Oprah Winfrey says she has proof, people believe her. She didn't build an empire on vibes, she built it on receipts. Meanwhile, Meghan's world starts shrinking. Hollywood friends go quiet. Invitations stop coming. Deals that were almost finalized suddenly stall. Executives don't want to pick sides, especially not against Oprah. And the Arcuel brand, once polished and protected, starts looking radioactive. Behind the scenes, a desperate strategy allegedly emerges: contain Oprah at all costs. Sources claim Harry considers using his remaining inheritance, the money tied to his mother, to make this disappear. Not because he believes Meghan is innocent, but because he's trying to stop the bleeding. A settlement, a payoff, a silence purchase. But even that move cuts deep, because if Harry pays, he's not defending his wife, he's cleaning up after her. And Meghan knows it. This is where the marriage fractures beyond repair. What began as whispers of financial misconduct turns into something far more corrosive: doubt. Harry begins questioning everything: the deals, the friendships, the narratives, the constant victimhood. He starts wondering whether he was a partner or a shield. And once that question forms, it doesn't go away. Online, the public dissects every old clip, Every eye roll, every controlling gesture, every moment where Harry looks smaller, quieter, overshadowed, the narrative flips, sympathy shifts. And for the first time in years, Meghan doesn't control the angle. Then the ugliest rumor surfaces: divorce. Quiet at first, then louder. Threads explode. Legal speculation spreads. Royal commentators begin connecting dots that once felt unthinkable. UK lawyers, asset separation, custody considerations, exit strategies. Because the truth is brutal, without Oprah's protection and without Harry's loyalty, Meghan's position in Hollywood becomes terrifyingly thin. She built her American empire on proximity to power. Oprah was the keystone. Remove it, and the structure wobbles. And Oprah? She's done playing mentor. Insiders say she feels personally violated, not just financially, but emotionally. The trust wasn't transactional to her. It was human, and she believes it was exploited. That's why the letter wasn't polite. It was final. Pay what's owed, apologize publicly, or face exposure that no PR firm can outrun. As of now, Meghan hasn't done any of it. No apology, no repayment confirmation, no reconciliation photo, just silence. And silence, in this case, sounds like a ticking clock, because if this reaches court, the messages will surface. And once those messages are public, there's no undo button. The narrative won't be smear campaign, it'll be pattern. Pattern of using power. Pattern of crossing lines. Pattern of leaving debts, emotional and financial, unpaid. Harry stands at a crossroads no prince should ever face. Stay loyal and drown with her, or step away and salvage what little credibility remains. Insiders say he's already emotionally checked out, and that the only thing delaying an announcement is legal choreography. And Meghan, for the first time, she's cornered by someone more powerful, more respected, and far more patient than she ever anticipated. Oprah doesn't need to shout, she just waits. And when she speaks next, it won't be through rumors or books or intermediaries. It'll be through facts, through documents, through truth. And when that happens, this won't be remembered as celebrity gossip. It'll be remembered as the moment a carefully constructed empire collapsed under the weight of its own secrets. Under the weight of its own secrets.